Hello YouTube, Dave here again. Today I am going to be taking a look at the Lost Omens Draconic Codex for the Pathfinder 2nd Edition. More specifically with the remastered version. You can see like the green 2nd Edition there up in the top corner. But yeah, the Lost Omens product line are typically like world building books, so it's interesting to see them release like an actual monster book as part of that product line, as opposed to being like just the generic Pathfinder brand. But yeah, this one looks really, really cool. Again, I just love the cover there with the dragons on there. They have changed up, of course, like to remove themselves from the OGL. They have removed themselves from like the traditional metallic and chromatic dragons. And instead, the dragons have like stronger themes to them. There's the conspiracy dragon, the omen dragon. There's like a forest dragon. So some of them do have like, they're still kind of similar or equivalent to the old traditional chromatic dragons, but they've taken on like stronger theming rather than just being like based off of like the color of their scales type of thing. So taking a look inside, we have our introduction here. So what this book has, it has some information on like dragon physiology, the dragon god. So it's kind of like the Draconomicon, which is one of my all-time favorite books. So again, we kind of get something similar here. Get like the life cycle, the diet, how they fly, and then we get into the actual like dragons. We got like the different types of dragons based off of like the magic groupings. Then we get the dragon god section. So kind of cool to see what we have in here for this. The different dragon gods, how the avatar spell would be used with them. And again, like we don't have Bahamut or Tiamat. We do have Dahak in here, and he was instrumental in the Age of Ashes adventure path, the first 2nd edition Pathfinder adventure path. So it's kind of cool to see. But then, what I really want to get into here are the information on like the expanded dragons. So, for example, they give you like the adamantine dragon. So again, sort of its physiology here, which is kind of cool to see. Some information on that. They then give them the arch dragon, which would basically be like the equivalent of like a worm or a great worm. So instead of it just being like hatchling, adult, like mature adult and ancient, we do have a category above the ancient dragons now, which is really cool to see. But then we also have this section here. And when I was first flipping through the book, I thought there was something wrong because these pages weren't, it's like, well, these pages aren't cut. Well, they're not supposed to be, because this is a fold-out section. So first of all, we got some alternate abilities there for the dragon. So you can sort of substitute out some different abilities and options if you want to, change things up a little bit if they fought some of like the other more generic versions of the dragon. But here we get really into like their anatomy and details here with these fold-outs. And didn't mean to hit the camera there. And they're double-sided. The other side is the next dragon in the book. But again, really, really cool. And those just fold back up. So they got these kind of sprinkled throughout the main book here. Then we got the Cinder Dragon. So this kind of fills the role of the Red Dragon. We got the Arch Dragon information there. Along with its like alternate abilities. So we got like Cloud of Ashes. So the dragon blows a cloud of ashes and smoke through their scales, surrounding themselves in a 15-foot emanation that lasts until the end of their turn. All creatures in the cloud become concealed to both sight and scent, and all creatures outside the cloud are concealed to creatures within it. So again, kind of cool to see that. We got the Inflame Emotions ability. And again, some spell casting information there as well. Then we got the Conspirator Dragon, which again, I love the I call it the Conspiracy Dragon, but the Conspirator Dragon. I ran one of these in a Pathfinder adventure, and its breath weapons were it's spewing conspiracy theories. Which, I wish I was more up on like conspiracy. I tried to avoid ones that were like modern society equivalent, because why would the dragon know about things going on Earth today as opposed to Absalom back in the day type of thing. So I kind of limited myself a little bit, but it was still fun to have it spew the conspiracy theories there. And again, you got the fold out, the multi-page fold out for it as well. Right, I'm not going to show all of these, but it's still really cool that they have this. So you got some extra abilities to give the dragons. You've got a new age category for the dragons. You kind of have their anatomy stuff kind of spelled out, and there are some new dragons introduced to this book as well. The Despair Dragon, that thing looks gnarly. I think that's in the Monster Core 2. We got our Diabolic Dragon, the Arch Dragon there, the Imperial Dragon, the Fortune Dragon, right, with its alternate features, the Horn Dragon, which is kind of like the Green Dragon. Hit the camera again. Getting really young. You can tell I'm out of practice with these videos, but anyway. Then we got the Mirage, Phase Dragon, the Resurrection Dragon, which looks gnarly, looks like it's in the process of being reformed. Rune Dragon, I want to kind of get to some of the newer ones that they have here. So we'll skip ahead, I think, a little bit. Got the Barrage, Whisper Dragon, I think is... Okay, so we got the Barrage Dragon here. Which again just looks really gnarly. And we've got, so this is a new one. So we got the young, the adult, the ancient. Okay, I guess there were just 3 age categories: young, adult, ancient, and the Arch Dragon now. So again, we got some new dragons in the mix there. Shrapnel Splash, the Bog Dragon. So probably fills the role of a black dragon. What's your breath weapon out of curiosity? Nerodeus Breath. Belches of boiling acid. Okay. So they've kind of reintroduced some dragons to fill some of the roles that were missing by removing the chromatic dragons from the core books. If you have the original bestiary, you can still use that without any issues. Some terminology has changed, but I don't think the dragons are really affected by that. The spells that they have access to, that might be something that you'd have to worry about. But yeah, it's still really cool. The Cloud Dragon, I think they have lightning for their breath weapon, right? Oh, Thundercloud Breath. So it is, electricity damage. So again, kind of cool to see. We got the Crystal Dragon. So we got new dragons added. We've got expansions for the original dragons. You've got some lore and some physiology stuff. They're dietary practices and things along those lines. So again, a really cool book for fleshing out and expanding on dragon mythology in your game. Again, just tons of new dragons to use in your game. The Vizier Dragon, the Worm Wraith. Some player options here. You got the Dragonette ancestry that you can play, so that's pretty cool to see. The Pearl Dragonette there, just so pudgy. Draconic Kobolds, Draconic Acolyte. So you get some stuff for players. You get new monsters to use in your game. Anti-Dragon Barding. Dragon Packs. And there's just sort of your glossary of terms. So for Pathfinder, this is their Draconomicon. The fold out sections are really kind of cool and was unexpected. The fact that they fold out to like 3 panels was really, really cool. Just to go over like some of their like anatomy features and, you know, kind of like the sketch artwork I really like, because it feels like something you would find in an in-world like field guide of somebody who's been studying like these types of creatures. So this is a really, really cool book. And it's one that if you want to use dragons in your campaign, then this is one that, again, I would highly recommend adding to your collection, because you get extra dragons for all the ones that have been previously released in the Monster Core 1 and 2. You get that final, like the Archdragon Age category, and you get a whole slew of new dragons that you can use to really flesh out the world as well and show like just how diverse dragons are now in the Pathfinder setting. They're no longer just metallic or chromatic. They're all over the place with different environmental influences and other things like the Conspirator Dragon and things along those lines. So a really, really cool book and definitely worth adding to your collection if you want to use a decent amount of dragons in your game. Draconomicons have always been some of my favorite books in back in like 3rd edition D&D. The Draconomicon is one of the best books that came out for that version of the game, in my opinion. And I've got some like the 4th edition ones. There's the 5e Dragon book as well. And yeah, there's really fantastic books. And to add to that list, this one here I would place pretty high on the list. Like I said, I think there's some really cool stuff in here. I loved like all the new dragons that were added. Some player character options there, some equipment, some spells, some feats. The ability to, have an anti-dragon harness on your livestock so they can't be picked up by the dragons and carried off. Just like a cool in-world type of thing. But yeah, really, really cool book and definitely worth checking out. So if you're going to use dragons in your campaign with heavy focus on them, this is a book that you should definitely, like I said, have in there. Anyway, thank you all so very much for your time. I appreciate it, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, take care.